Hey guys, Grüße aus Deutschland, greetings from Germany. I wanted to give you a little update so that the news don't stack up on me, and then I know myself I'm not gonna record a video or a voice recording, and so I'm just gonna do it here now. On the 20th, I was supposed to have my allergy test, and I had to cancel it because my sister and I were at my parents' house, and it turns out that even though my dad, like I told you guys before he went to the hospital, he's been paying bills and trying to keep on top of everything, which he managed to do a pretty good job. But what he failed to do was file things, which is making things a lot harder now because my sister and I are having problems getting answers out of him, like what all is going on. All of a sudden you're sticking your nose into somebody else's business, into their household, and so you need to know who the landlord is, what the rent is, what the electricity is, the utilities, um, all insurances they might have, and they have so many, oh my gosh. And so he's getting retirement, my mother is getting retirement, and then there's all the paperwork from the last few years, like when my mother had a brainstem infarction in 2013, which was actually the first time I almost left the United States to come back and help out my parents. But then my mother, who at the time could only move her eyes, um, regained a whole bunch of bodily functions, and my dad told me to wait and see, because the doctor said that sometimes the paralysis is only temporarily. And so that was the case with my mom, which is a very uncommon case. So we lucked out that way. And so since 2013, there have been a lot of health problems with my mom. And I don't want to get too much into detail because I would really like to respect the fact that this is actually their story. But at the same time, I'm aware of the fact that they will never be able to tell their story because they are having cognitive problems. My dad too. He's been declining. His health and his mental state have been declining a lot during the last few weeks since my mom has been put in the nursing home where she is in 24/7 care. And so yeah, so there's a lot of paperwork, and when was it? The 20th was on Wednesday, wasn't it? Today's it's Saturday morning now. No, it was actually Thursday. So we were at my parents' house when I was going through paperwork, and you know how when you go through paperwork, you're all dusty, and even though I took a shower before we went there, I would have had to go home, take another shower, and go to that doctor's office. And I got so carried away with all the paperwork because I really want to get it done. In the middle, I found out that the paperwork goes all the way back to 2019, and so I'm gonna have to sort out 5 years of paperwork. Sort out in the sense that he also kept advertisements, that are being sent to our mailboxes. And so I got rid of them first. And then I worked my way through that a stack that I put together from several places in my parents' home. And then I realized I just don't have it in me to, go home. My sister would have had to take me home so that she can take the car back up to my parents' house and possibly drive me downtown, where you couldn't even get with a car. She would have had to let me out somewhere, and I would have had to walk for a whole while. And so, like 30 minutes before my appointment, I decided, yeah, as urgent as it is to have all of this taken care of, we'd rather put my parents' situation first, because when was it? Yesterday morning, so Friday morning, the 21st of June, my dad finally left the hospital, even though they said he's going to have to go back and get a pacemaker put in, which I'm completely against, because with the way he has given up on life. It seems like, he's worked all his life. He took care of us. The parents, when I say my parents, I'm actually talking about the two people, my two biological parents. They gave birth to me and my sister. None of them ever cheated. And so I believe my dad has done enough, including taking care of my mother since 2013, where, of course, the bodily functions she regained after the brainstem infarction, she did not maintain. And so she lost a lot of bodily functions over the past 11 years. And so my dad's been taking care of her, and he must have worn himself out so much that with my mom being in the nursing home since February, the third week of February, my dad kind of declined because he didn't have to function anymore. And so he slept a lot and he didn't take his medication. And so, we tried to get him to do it, but, when somebody's stubborn, there's not really much you can do. And so, they, prepped him for going to the nursing home. They checked everything. And, of course, he has a whole bunch of issues that they can't fix anymore because he's simply too old. And his cancer is fine. Since I got back from the States, he had 2 cancer diagnoses, so he's fine with that. And so he's definitely at the nursing home already. And so now we have to see that we get him a lot of clothes, because they want a whole lot of clothes because they have a laundry service there in-house, and it takes them 1.5 weeks to get dirty clothes back to the patients or to the clients. And so they would like a lot of clothes, so that just to make sure that the patients have enough clothes. And so we're still in the process of sorting out clothes at my parents' house and asking my dad what he would like. And so we're going to have to buy clothes too if he wants anything that he doesn't have. And so we're dealing with that. I got a lot of sorting out done. And so the first thing had to be sort out all the advertisements or envelopes, so I did that. And so now I know that the filing's gonna have to go all the way back to 2019, as far as I could tell. And so next time we go, I'm gonna go ahead with that. We also went to a store. And even though I showed up with 10 folders, the kind of folders, almost like manila folders, but they have rubber bands attached to them, so that you can close them up so that the folder won't come open and, paperwork falls out. And so we went to the store and I got myself 10 more because I didn't think they would have this many categories. Like you got, the living situation and electricity. This is, by the way, the categories that I use. And then internet, telephone, and the cell phones, the mobile phones. And that meant I had to get my dad one of mine that I have, not my main number, but a little side, a smartphone that I have. We put the SIM card in a flip phone though, because my father can't deal with the smartphone anymore. And so he's got a phone that's functional, and we're gonna have to go through his, all the mobile phones that he has there, and there's paperwork that goes with that, and what a mess. And they have a whole bunch of insurances that I didn't know about. And so now we found the bank paperwork also. He kept that in one spot, which I really appreciated. And so now we can look up the expenses that they had, because he's declining so fast that he's losing information fast. And so with a little bit of help from him, we're trying to figure out what actually my parents or our parents' situation was, and we're making headway. But yeah, so my allergy test had to be sacrificed for that. But I still have that on my screen, and I would like to get it done. And who knows? I mean, there's a reason for everything. Maybe I canceled it because another doctor is going to call me back that will actually not just do the inhalative substances, but maybe food, a food allergy test, which I think might make more sense in my case, but who knows. It might also be that I got the hives, and I'm perfectly aware of that, for psychosomatic reasons. My skin has always expressed itself during times of stress, and so maybe it's one of these times. Even though I thought that with dropping that stressful job, that my skin was gonna relax a little, which it does in the sense that I'm spending a lot of money on really good lotions that help with the itching, and I'm getting much more flexible. I can tell you I can reach every part on my body now, which I probably could have before, but now I'm aware that I can, because I'm really treating my skin. I'm putting lotions on, anti-itch lotions, or really hydrating lotions twice a day, and that helps a lot. Whenever we're not at home and I can't do it, I feel the difference because my skin really starts acting up then. But yeah, so we're making progress. Another big step was to get my father out of the hospital into the nursing home. That is behind us too. Now he has to decide what he wants to get out of the house. Maybe he does think of items now that he would like to have. Like, for example, we're going to bring him his laptop and all the devices that he saves data on, like external hard drives and stuff like that. And so yeah, so the first big steps have been done, and then we're gonna have, like, probably towards the end of July to get rid of the apartment. But at the same time, there are things coming up, like, and we're finding out about these things as we are going through paperwork, right? Is, for example, that the Mercedes that my dad is in my dad's name, that my sister and I have been driving. The inspection is coming up in July, and so for that, since we've been going back and forth using that car to haul things to my dad and to my mom, and because the nursing home, of course, is also asking for furniture now, what furniture they could use in the nursing home. And so, yeah, so we've been using that car, so we have to make sure that everything is up to date. So we were surprised by the fact that in July, the inspection has to be done, so we have to find the paperwork for the car, and also find another car repair shop, because the one that my dad's been using for decades has closed. And so I did a kind of a survey on a local, not email group, but like website where you can post questions. And so I've gotten a few good recommendations already, and so we're gonna have to tackle that, which my sister and I have had cars for the most part of our lives. I had my last car when I lived in the States. I left it there, and so these things that you have to keep in mind, like have an oil change done and stuff like that. I've been writing down a lot to not go into mental overload. And so we have a bunch of things that we would like to get done. Also, we haven't figured out how to get the hood opened to refill the windshield washer fluid. I mean, you wouldn't think that my sister and I have been having cars for all of our lives. But we just don't know the Benzie boy. We call him Benzie boy. And so we're getting to know that car and taking care of it. This weekend we're gonna go, like, because we've been hauling a lot of stuff back and forth, and also going shopping for my dad before he went to the hospital. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the back seat down, and before we do that, we would like to just clean the entire car. So we're gonna go to one of those places where you can clean the car yourself, like with the with a vacuum cleaner and stuff like that, and then spray it off and use a sponge to clean it and then spray it off again. And so yeah, our to-do lists every day. Holy smokes, guys. But it is what it is, and we are making progress, and I'm also making progress concerning the paperwork, even though it takes forever to sort through all of that. But next time I go, I bring more folders that I bought, and so that's gonna make the sorting process a lot easier. I mean, I did have a whole bunch. I had like 10 of those folders with me last time, but they weren't enough. There are just too many categories because I underestimated the additional insurances that my dad had set up. And so, yeah, we're doing one thing after another. The allergy test is off the menu right now, but I'm still pursuing it. And Monday morning, I'm going to continue calling around or going on the websites of local doctors, because I do want to have that taken care of. Even though taken care of is kind of overestimating it, because I'm realistic enough to realize it might just be psychosomatic. And that means that even if they do an allergy test on inhalative substances and on food, do a food allergy test, it might just come out completely negative, except for house dust. I know I'm allergic to that, and I know I have hay fever and rye, I think. Not so much rye, it's more wheat though. Um, but I don't know. And so my hopes are not really high that they're going to find out one substance. And then if I never touch that substance again, I'm not going to have allergy problems. I think it's in the air. I think it's what they're putting out in the air, what plain fuels they use or whatever they put into fuel. Who knows? And I've been on this planet for 5.5 decades, and so maybe there's one of the substances that's new that I'm not used to, or it's psychosomatic, but then an allergy test won't really help. And so I wasn't really psyched about it anyway, but that day I was. But my excitement about getting the filing done and getting order into all that paperwork, which he had neatly stacked. Don't think. I hope you don't. That there was paperwork, thrown everywhere or whatever. I've seen it in hoarder homes, but this is not what we're dealing with. My dad actually tried to keep order, and he had everything neatly stacked, but he didn't file anything, and so everything is mixed in with each other. And so that is something I'm going to continue doing. All right, I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I'm going to go for now, and if I get a new appointment for an allergy test, I'll let you know. And also what I need to get done is, and now it's actually, I'm running too close to the end of June, because in Germany, when you get referrals from a doctor, they always have to be used up in the quarter in which they were issued. And so last time I went to my doctor was, I believe, the beginning of May. And so the quarters of the year are January, February, March, April, May, June. And so if I don't get an appointment by the end of June, I'm going to have to go back to get two referrals. One is the one for the sleep apnea screening, for the sleep diagnosis, and the other one is for the allergy test. And so I'll see. If a doctor on Monday says I can come in right away, then I'm going to do that. But I keep you up to date on these things. I'm going to go for now. Thank you for all of your support and your well wishes, and I'm going to make it through it. I always do. All right, you guys, have a nice weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Tschüssi.